esoteric knowledge behind the Lord's Prayer. So a lot of Christians pray the Lord's Prayer because it's just something that they're taught to do. Okay, many Christians do not know or are not aware of how this relates to universal law. Okay, because normally universal law is an esoteric study. Esoteric means hidden knowledge. Esoteric is the backstory, the back end, the hidden aspect of. Exoteric is what they feed the masses. Exoteric is common knowledge, or the knowledge that is readily available. Esoteric knowledge is knowledge you need to look for. It will not seek you, you need to seek it. And this is why Jesus in the Bible said, "Seek and ye shall find. Ask and ye shall be given." So today we're going to take a look at the Lord's Prayer and its relevance to universal law, how it compares to universal law, how it's actually a part of universal law, and how it deals with energy, frequency, vibration, and in our case, how it applies and how everyone can say this prayer and how it relates. Okay, so good morning. Hi, Jay. Good morning. Good morning. Let me see. There's a question here. How come you aren't in the U.S. yet? Hawaii is the U.S. It's not dangerous in our area at all. Good morning, user of the cookies. Check your map. Hawaii is part of the United States. Okay. Okay. All right. So now let's get started with our subject matter, the Lord's Prayer. Our Father who art in heaven. This reflects the law of divine oneness. Everything originates from one source. We are all connected to the Creator and to each other. And this is the law of divine oneness. Now, the universal principle is there is no separation between God, the universe, and all living beings. Okay, so now we always discuss the conscious, subconscious, and superconscious. So we put God in the under the superconscious category. You know, it's really interesting. I spoke with a psychologist. He was one of my clients. He still is one of my clients. And I was speaking with him the other day. And he said, you know, I've never heard of the superconscious. And I'm like, well, actually the superconscious is just another name for the spiritual aspect of everything. Because the conscious mind is consciousness, your conscious thinking. Subconscious is below conscious thinking. And the superconscious is like the network that we're all plugged into. Okay, so let's get back with our study, because I just, my point in mentioning this was to illustrate that many medical professionals have no idea what this is. Okay, hallowed be thy name. Okay, so our Father who art in heaven, the law of divine oneness. Hallowed be thy name, the law of vibration. Okay, so the law of vibration, because the name of God is a frequency. Now, God spoke the world into existence. God spoke the world into existence. Okay, so God is a sacred vibration of pure light and love. And the universal principle is what we revere and focus upon raises our vibration or lowers our vibration, depending on what it is, and aligns us closer to its divine energy, or to its, to its lower realm, if you want to classify it that way. Thy kingdom come is the law of correspondence, as above, so below. The divine realm can manifest on earth when we align with it. So like I was saying yesterday, you can live in heaven or you can live in hell, depending on your choices and how you're thinking. Some people are tormented their entire lives because they cannot get over their subconscious programming. So thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. This is the law of alignment or divine will. True manifestation occurs when personal will aligns with divine will. when you combine the subconscious and the superconscious. Okay? So the subconscious and superconscious are important to always be in alignment. So when you have all three in alignment, right? A lot of people talk about conscious and subconscious. We're going to bring the superconscious into it because the superconscious is the spiritual. So you have to consider the superconscious or consciousness or the collective, if you will, or the creation, which links back to the creator, which is all in the superconscious. So thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Okay, so this is the law of alignment. So what it tells us is the universe responds effortlessly when we surrender resistance and when we act in alignment with source energy or with God. Now, when you are aligning yourself with God, however you want to say it, I'm not here to tell you what to believe. God, higher self, Jesus Christ, Allah. When you align yourself with those values, with those things, with the superconscious, for the sake of this discussion, we'll say superconscious, then things align that way. So your life can go in either direction. Most people's lives go in both directions all the time, right? I call it the windshield wiper syndrome, right? Good thought, bad thought, good thought, bad thought, like that. So the idea is to install more good thoughts than bad thoughts. Okay? So give us this day our daily bread, the law of abundance. That's reflecting the law of abundance, the universal law of abundance. So what we're doing is we're showing you and demonstrating to you how the Lord's Prayer is in alignment with universal law. We are provided for in every moment, no matter what, no matter how bound you are to the physical world. Remember, like I told you, I think it was last week, I discussed the cats at the park where I do my 3 miles in the morning. The cats at the park eat every day. They eat canned food every day. Because these old ladies go to the park with canned food. They must be wealthy ladies. They buy food for the cats and they feed them every day. Canned food every day. This is an example of how God feeds the cats. Something would have had to come over that lady. And she got the idea that, you know what, the cats at the park need to eat. Because everything comes to us from God through others. No such thing as doing it all by yourself. That doesn't work. That never works. It's never been that way. So give us this day our daily bread, the law of abundance. Now what's the universal principle? By trusting the divine supply. See, people are under the impression, because we live in commerce, because we live in a capitalistic system, because the world is like that, because the world is in commerce, people have been thought to think in lack. There's not enough. A classical example is fossil fuels. That term was created. It was created for marketing purposes by John D. Rockefeller so that we would think, well, there's only so many dinosaurs, right? Only so many fossils, right? Fossil fuel. Limitation. But by trusting in divine supply, we receive what we need in perfect timing. Give us this day our daily bread. Then we get to forgiveness. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. There you have the law of cause and effect. So whatever you choose to do, whatever you choose to give, you get. Whatever action you take ends in a result. So the question is, do I want to project a good action or a bad action? Doesn't matter. It only matters to you. It only matters to you. Forgiveness frees both the giver and the receiver because it breaks the cycle of negative energy. Okay, so we discussed resentment. I think it was last week. I'm not very good at time and space because of my ADHD. But when we discussed resentment, we said that resentment is like a subtle anger. It's like a very tiny bit of anger, okay? Because it's there, it's underlying, it's way at the bottom. But it's there, it exists. It's like a running current of electricity that's there. And until you cut that cord, that energetic cord, until you cut off the resentment, you will suffer for it. And it depends to what degree, it depends how, it depends. But negative circumstances will arise from resentment. So you don't want to resent. So when you forgive, initially it's not for the other person, it's for you. You have to forgive so you can cut that cord, so you can stop that current, that negative current, because it will hold you back from things subconsciously in your subconscious. In your subconscious, without you thinking of it, because you think with your conscious mind, without you thinking of it, that energy is there. And that's why forgiveness is part of the 12-step program. 12. 12 apostles, 12 cranial nerves, 12 houses in the zodiac, 12 months in a year, 12. Okay, look it up, fact check me. What we give out returns to us. Clear this. When you do a clearing, when you do an energetic clearing, because you're not your body, you're not your name, you're that energy that lives in here. And when you do that energetic clearing, you cut the cord. You stop it, you prevent it from going down. So it's essential to forgive. It's necessary to forgive. Because when you forgive, you release yourself and the other person. But do it for yourself first. Everything is for you first. Lead us not into temptation. The law of choice and free will. So we're given free will to choose. We have that freedom. But if you pay attention to that freedom too much, because you have to balance it, if you pay attention to it too much and you give it too much authority, things don't quite go well. Let me give you an example. You're driving down the street. I always give this example, so if you've been on the live before, bear with me. You're driving down the street, you get that feeling. It's not a voice, it's a feeling. But sometimes that voice appears in your voice, in your head, and you get that feeling. And that feeling says to turn right over here. But you have free will, and you say, no, that's okay. You override that feeling. You override that intuitive thought. You override the intuition that comes from the subconscious. And you continue on, you go, oh no, I'm going to go to the next light. And then you get stuck in the traffic jam, and what do? You go, I knew I should have turned over there. Because you did know. But you dismissed divine thought. You dismissed intuitive thought. You want to say it another way? You dismissed your divine instruction. You dismissed your natural guidance system. There's many ways to say it. You can say, you didn't listen to God. You can say, I didn't listen to Jesus. Jesus told me to turn, I didn't turn, and now I'm stuck in the traffic jam. There you go. Okay? So lead us not into temptation. Tells us that we have free will. We're given free will to choose our path. But the divine guidance helps us stay aligned with a higher truth. And when we pay attention to that truth, the truth will set you free. The more you ignore the truth, so ignorance is when you choose against intuition, against divine will, against what you should do. When deep inside you know what you should do. Children are born knowing right from wrong. They know right from wrong. They don't have to be taught. You can see a toddler and the guilt on their face when they do something naughty. You can see it. It's there. Your choices create your reality. The subconscious tree, right? Your core beliefs in your subconscious form your paradigm, the trunk of the tree. Your paradigm dictates the way you see the world, your attitude towards the world creates your actions, the fruits of the tree. You shall know them by their fruits. The fruits of the tree are your actions that become habits in your subconscious. And what do those actions do? They create results. This is why they say insanity is doing the same action over and over and over, expecting a better result. It's impossible. It's insane. Thinking that you can accomplish better results, a better job, better money, a better company, a better car, a better anything by doing the same thing over and over and over and over. Dr. Joe Dispenza says it a different way. He said, yesterday you had these troubles. Now these troubles go unresolved. You wake up this morning, now those troubles are in today because you're thinking about them, because they haven't been resolved. Then you go into tomorrow and you bring these problems into tomorrow, and now you're thinking about them tomorrow because they weren't resolved yesterday or the day before. And this cycle keeps continuing if you don't change your subconscious until one day there's no tomorrow. You are living in an eternal now. Time is an illusion. But we need time to stay organized. We need a calendar to organize society. But time in itself is an illusion. Einstein showed us that. So, you have this now to work with. You have this now to work with until it is no longer now. One day this now comes to an end for everyone. Everything you consume, everything you eat, will become what you are, and eventually you go back to the ground because everything that you consume comes from the ground. It comes from the earth, goes back. So Earth is one big recyclable system, human beings included, animals included, trees included. Everything gets recycled. But this energy in you is eternal. You're not your body, you're not your name, you're this energy in here. This energy does not die, does not go into the ground. This energy rises out of the body. They have machines that measure this now, where they can measure the spirit leaving the body, the energy leaving the body, the life force leaving the body, however you want to say it. Whatever you believe this is what you are. Your body is just here to take you around. Your body is just here to do things for you, to experience the physical world. So, lead us not into temptation, the law of choice and free will, but deliver us from evil, the law of polarity. Thank you. The law of polarity tells us that there's always two sides, the yin and the yang, good, evil, light, dark. So what happens when you get too dark? When you get too dark and things get too heavy over here, right, you start gravitating back to the light. I have a client who's doing that right now. She got a little too dark in her life. And then she had a little accident, little wake-up call. And now she's moving back to the light. So this happens. But this is the law of polarity. There's always two sides. So there's a positive side and a negative side to everything. All you need to do is look for it. You know how they say, wait for it? Okay, look for it. Look for it. It's there. It's there. If you break your favorite golf club because you accidentally hit a tree on the golf course while trying to get your ball out of the rough, look for the good side. Ah, this gives me an opportunity to buy a new club. It could have been your favorite club that you broke. It's okay. Let go. Forgive. In that case, you're forgiving yourself. Forgive. Let go. Okay. Deliver us from evil. Right? Darkness exists to show us the light and vice versa. Without darkness, there is no light. So they both need each other. Darkness, light, positive, negative. There's always the contrast. Every negative force has an opposite. So when you choose love, you move away from fear. You eliminate fear and suffering and pain. You were born into love. You were born from love. Most people were born from love. Then life happened. It happens to all of us. I don't know anybody who has a good life, a perfect life. Like everything went good and everything along the way was perfect and no problems. Just they continued on and they kept winning and getting medals and, all of that stuff. I don't know anybody like that. Some of the wealthiest people that I know, and I know some very wealthy people, have some of the biggest problems. And some of them are my clients. And some of them have a hole that never gets filled. We talked about this the other day. So when you're choosing, choose wisely. Think before you choose. Think before you act. Consider. Consider the consequences. Consider the outcomes. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. This is the law of perpetual transmutation of energy. All power and glory return to God, to source, where the energy comes from, the origin of the energy that's in here. Whatever you believe, I'm not here to tell you what to believe. Divine energy is infinite. You cannot extinguish it. It's here to stay. But it can transmute. Transmutation, it can change form. Negative energy can turn into positive energy, and vice versa. When you start talking about metempsychosis, that's where energy goes into another thing. So this energy in here can exist in a lily pad. It can exist in a frog. It can exist in a tree. Everything is energy. The universal principle behind "for thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever" is infinite, unending, and ever expanding, because the universe is expansive, it's growing, it's evolving, and it evolves through creation. Hi, Billy. I'll send you a copy of my book. Just, yeah, sure, I have it right here. I'll show it to you. I'll send you a copy of my book. It's on Amazon. You don't have to buy it. Just message me. Send me a message in Messenger, or we have 7 platforms every day. So So if you're on one platform, it's a DM. If you're on another platform, it's Messenger. If you're on another platform, it's inbox. So inbox me, and I'll send you a PDF copy of my book. Anybody who wants one on any platform right now, all you have to do is send me a message, okay, and request the book. Say, hey, Junior, send me your book, and I will send you a PDF copy. Okay, so that's the Lord's Prayer. And as you can see, it's in perfect accordance with universal law. This prayer was carefully constructed. This prayer represents truth, universal truth, not just Christian truth. It's universal. So we went over the 12 universal laws the other day. Now, why is this important in manifestation? Because if you want effective manifestation, or let's say it another way, if you want to achieve your goals, let's put it that way, achieve your goals. If you want more money, if you want more things, whatever, doesn't matter, house, car, bike, skateboard, doesn't matter. Whatever it is that you want, if you align yourself with the superconscious, and if you're conscious, there is only the conscious, subconscious, and superconscious. If you align those three, and those are working synergistically together, in other words, your conscious mind and your subconscious mind work together, And then those two work together with God, or the superconscious, or infinite intelligence, source, the unseen, however you want to say that. Whatever, however you believe. I'm not here to tell you what to believe or how to believe. But when these two are aligned with that one, everything flows effortlessly. So when people tell you, well, you have to take action on this, yes, you do have to take action. There is no such thing as getting something for nothing. You're going to have to exert energy. But here's what people don't think about. There's been many times where I've achieved things just by thinking. Because thinking is motion, thinking is energy. Thought produces energy. It takes energy to think. You ever been so tired you can't think? That happens to me like every 2 days. Because that's how I make a living. I think. You can get mentally exhausted. So understand that thinking is a projection, is a vibrational projection. Thinking is an action. It's an energy. So when people tell you, oh, you have to work hard for this, what's the implication? The implication is you have to exert physical effort. That does help. But you don't have to work hard. The easiest way, the most effortless way of working is to eliminate the negativity and allow the awareness. We were talking about this yesterday. Allow the awareness to expand, because you are awareness. In here, the kingdom is within. Jesus Christ was telling you, the kingdom is within. But because you have eyes, you look over there. You look over here. No problem, Billy. Just send me a message, and I'll send you the book. That goes for everyone. So if I get 1,000 messages today, I'll work my way through the list. The kingdom is in here. The kingdom is not up there. So where do you go? Where do you go when your time is up? Where do you go? That's probably a well-guarded secret. But there are theories. That's not important. What's important is what you do now with your eternal now. Because how you live now will give you the results you need now. So many people are going, well, okay, I'm gonna go to heaven, so I'm gonna plan for heaven. So they spend their entire lives planning death. Oh, when I die, I'm going to do this. When I die, I'm going to go to heaven. I'm going to see God when I die. You can experience God now. God is in here. The kingdom is in here. If you want to see a miracle, go into the bathroom, turn on the light, look in the mirror. There you go. There's your miracle. It's all about the way you see the kingdom. It's about the way you feel about the kingdom. But it's hiding behind your eyes, and your eyes are looking elsewhere. Your eyes are looking at your friend's brand new grill. then you need a brand new grill, There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're thinking limited thoughts, like, well, it'll take me a long time to save up to get a grill like that. Or, my neighbor has a good job, not like mine. So I don't think I could afford a grill like his. I'm here to tell you, if you think that money is the only way you can get something, you're suffering from limited thinking. I can't even tell you how many things I got with no money, including my first brand new car. I didn't have any money. I didn't put any money down. I just walked in and signed the paper. They were happy to make the sale. And guess what happened after that? The weirdest thing happened after that. Things that my company started picking up, like clients started coming. Like more clients started coming. And enough clients came to support every single monthly payment throughout the 3 years that I had the car. And then I sold the car. I sold it and I traded it in and got another car. The same thing happened when I did my Waikiki show. It was after I signed the contract in the second week of January, when it's normally slow because people haven't gotten paid yet from spending all their Christmas and New Year's money. They have to pay the credit cards first, that kind of thing. As soon as I signed the contract, these weddings came out of nowhere. These baby parties came out of nowhere. These parties, we had a wedding and party business. Contracts came out of nowhere. And the money came to support the show. From one company or one business to the other. The kids that worked for me didn't know that. The people that worked with me on the show didn't know that. It wasn't their business. It was the business side of things. And the contract was pretty sizable. It was over $11,000. And we were just having fun. So before you worship money, before you give money power over God, before you give money precedence over what's in here, before you look at money being more valuable than you, do some thinking. Do some thinking and consider what's in here. What's in here, your life force, your spirit, your energy, whatever you want to call it, your soul, whatever you want to call it, is more valuable than money. Money is an energy. Money is also energy because it circulates. And you want to get in the habit of circulating money. Don't spend money. When you spend money, right? You're doing this, you're doing that, okay? It's going away. When you circulate money, now it's going out on this side, it's coming in on this side. And all you do is relay. You just play the relay. And you take a little off the top and you relay. Because the bills come, pay the bills. Send the money this way. The money's gonna come back this way. When you get really good at circulating money, and you take a little bit off the top, here and there, after taxes, it's only gonna be a little bit, trust me. Trust me, taxes are real, okay? It's just gonna be a little bit. But don't focus on what's going out the door. Focus on the cycle. Focus on the circle. Focus on the fact that it's going to keep coming in over here, and I just keep paying the bills over here. It's okay. And while you're doing that, because your subconscious does not know and cannot judge, it doesn't know the difference between fantasy and reality. Your subconscious doesn't know if you're lying to it or not. When your subconscious sees $500 on paper, it doesn't know if it's a bill or a check. Just write down on the bill, "Thank you for the money." Some people will tell you, "Oh, that's silly. That's a silly thing to do. No, that's ridiculous." If I told that to some old school people, if I told that to my mom, she would be, "That's ridiculous." Why? Because she has a bad attitude towards bills. You have to have a good attitude towards bills. You have to be thankful for the service you receive. Be grateful. Gratitude is for everything. Be grateful for your bills. Some of my clients, after they've been with me for a while, they get it. But in the beginning, they're like, "What? Grateful for bills?" I'm like, "Yeah, there's a reason why you got the bill. Because you received the service, or you received the product, or you received something. That's why you get the bill." Did you expect that the electric company was just going to leave your lights on the house? No. But be grateful for the service. I'm grateful for that light that's on right now. That's why you can see me better. I'm grateful for the cameras. I'm going to get the bill for this. I get the bill for the streaming. I get the bill for the phone service. I get the bill for the iPads. But I'm grateful, and I say thank you. And when I pay it, I say thank you. And I circulate the money because I know it's going to come back again. And the next month, I'm going to get the same bill, give or take a few dollars. And then I'm going to pay it again and say thank you again, and it's going to keep going. The more grateful you are, the more things come. I remember having a $400 Toyota. I had a $400 Toyota, and I was grateful. And that thing only did about 45 miles an hour, like on the freeway. 45 miles. We just made the minimum amount on the freeway with that car. It was a $400 Toyota. But my fiance and I were happy. We were happy. We weren't miserable in a $400 Toyota. We were ecstatic. We were overjoyed that we had a car. When I was sleeping on the street and I was 20 years old, I think I was 19. I was 19 and 20 years old. And I was sleeping on the street every night. It was super cold at 4 o'clock, sleeping on cement at 4 o'clock. I had a blanket. It was still freezing. Bone-chilling cold. Just shaking. I wasn't mad at God. I was grateful I was alive. I was having a great time. I was having an adventure. It was an adventure. My whole life is an adventure. It's about the journey. How are you going to journey? What kind of journey are you going to have? What kind of adventures are you going to have? You don't have to have money to have an adventure. I was on the street. I was a street person. And I was proud to be a street person. I was like, yeah, here I am. We had some on the sidewalk. You're probably not been invented yet. Not even the bricks. Not yet. But if you're sleeping on the street right now, you're not watching this. So guess what? You're doing good. You're not on the street. But whatever level you are in life, it doesn't matter. Enjoy. Enjoy where you're at. Be grateful for where you're at. And you will transition into the next vibration. When you're grateful for what you have, even though it's a little, even though it's a couple dollars, trust me, I know some people with big companies, huge companies, with small cash flow. I used to know somebody who was very famous, who had a lot of land. He was land rich and cash poor, as they say. He was cash poor, but he was land rich. He died very wealthy, but he was cash poor. So when you train your subconscious and you change your thinking and you start manifesting things, or let's say it another way, accomplishing your goals, does that mean your bank is full of money? No. No. But when the conscious, subconscious, and superconscious are working in synergy and there's alignment with God, or whatever you think this is, the superconscious, God, consciousness, the universe, however you want to say it. But when you align yourself with that, things come when you need it. When you need something, be patient, wait for it, and it comes. Do you have to do something for it? Yeah, of course. Of course, do something. Make yourself useful to people, to others. Help others, be kind, be generous, and you're going to notice the blessings that come. You're going to feel the blessings that come. You're going to feel the love that comes. Remember, even the cats in the park eat, because the old ladies bring them canned food. They eat like kings. Well, kings in the cat world. In the cat world, those cats are spoiled. Every morning, these ladies are there feeding the cats canned food. So if the cats can be delivered gourmet meals every morning from God, because everything comes to us from God through others, if the cats can eat the best food, canned food, what does that say about you? What does that say about God? What does that say about your chances of survival in the process of ask, believe, receive? I don't know if the cats are asking. I don't know if cats ask. I don't know how a cat thinks. That's not my department. My department is human beings and how they think. But I can tell you from experience, when you ask and you believe in your asking, belief takes faith, you will receive. Now, sometimes you don't recognize it because God works in different ways, right? You don't receive according to plan. You can make a plan if you want. Go ahead, knock yourselves out and make a plan. I don't plan anymore. I haven't planned for over 20 years. And everything comes. If it comes in a tax rebate, if it comes in a check, if it comes with a client, if it comes with a sale of a product, if it comes from a donation or somebody just says, hey, let me take you to lunch, there you go. It's a blessing. You see? So don't take these things for granted. Express gratitude for everything. When you express gratitude for everything, when you express that, yes, I am grateful for this, thank you, you don't have to say thank you to a person or an entity or a deity if you don't want to. I say Father God. Some people I know say Jesus Christ. Some people I know say universe. Some people I know say source. You don't even have to put a name on it. As long as you say thank you, you are projecting that vibration from your mind through the heart. Your heart chakra produces the biggest vibration. Your heart produces the biggest vibration. You ever notice when you get excited about something, your heart beats a little faster? It's producing that vibration that you like something, that you love something, that you're excited about something. And that vibration is picked up by other things. That vibration leads you to a better personal vibration. That's what makes you happy. That's what brings you joy. That's what continued happiness is in here. Your natural default is happiness. Your natural state is love. You've just got a bunch of stuff piled on. And when that negative things get too heavy, the anxiety, the frustration, the grief, the guilt, the shame, when it all starts piling on like that, your awareness starts to go like this, because now there's a weight on it. But when you begin to lift the weight off, and the fastest way is through the human voice, but when you start to project that voice, guess what happens to the awareness? First of all, the junk starts going. The negative energy, the negative thoughts, the overthinking, the anxiety, and then the awareness begins to expand again. It doesn't go away. It just shrinks like this. I teach professionals, what I call high-powered professionals, because they're responsible for a lot of people, they're responsible for a lot of things. Most of them come to me like this, just like this. And as I work with them, their awareness expands. And some of them even look at their positions and their jobs and their degrees and go, what did I do this for? Because they start to see the truth. But then the truth sets them free. And when they see the system for what it is, they go, oh, okay. Jesus Christ was telling you about the system. There's a separation between the body and the spirit. The spirit lives in here. It lives in the body. It's not of the body. There's a separation. You can be in the world and not of the world. That's what Christians say. You can be in the system, but not of the system. Some people serve the system. Some people make a lot of money serving the system. Some people just exist within the system. And you have to pay Caesar what is Caesar's. But you can be happy in the system. It's not, knowledge is power now. Remember, it's the application of knowledge that's power. When you apply these principles, affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization, towards any one thing, it has to happen. I'll tell you a story really quick, fast story, because I have 2 minutes. So there was this nurse. She was just my client a little while ago. She's no longer my client. She came back from the mainland from a vacation. She had to take care of personal business. She came back, didn't have a job. The nurse agency didn't have a job for her. So she applied on her own to 3 different hospitals. After about 3 weeks with no job, I said, okay, which hospital do you want to work at? And she told me. And I went online and I got the image. I got their logo. And I put it on a lock screen. Lock screen like this. I put it on a lock screen so that she could look at it every day. Because the subconscious responds to visual imagery and sound, or your voice. So I gave her the affirmation. We created a vision board for her with the logo of the hospital that she really wanted to work at. In 2 weeks, she got a call from that hospital, and today she's working at that hospital. And she was like, whoa. I was kind of amused because I knew it would work. I didn't know how long it would take. But you always get that shift in 2 weeks when you write an affirmation. So write your affirmations. Do your meditation. Do your vocalization and visualization. Okay. Look at some other lives that I've done, and there's details and there's the how-tos. Okay. But just know that the Lord's Prayer that we were talking about today is in accordance with universal law. It's not just for Christians. It's for everyone. Okay? Jay is saying, see you tomorrow. So thank you, guys. We want to let go of our international feed now on Streamlabs. So thank you. Thank you for joining us, and we wish you lots of